Good evening, namaste, or adab. Our today's Ask the Master session is going to bring to your lives a lot of optimism and cheerfulness. As today, we have with us a special guest who is a former IAS officer, a motivational TEDx speaker, a prolific writer who has given us bestsellers like Finding Success Within and his latest, It's Still a Wonderful Life. He is also a mentor, advisor, a columnist, and a visiting professor. He has inspired thousands of youngsters to adopt a cheerful, positive, and multidimensional approach to their lives. A cricketer, a writer, a speaker, and an all rounder. Let's welcome Vivek Atray. Hello, good
Thank
evening,
you.
sir. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's a joy to be here.
Well, sir, it's an honor for Story Scrapers for me to have you on our show, and we are much obliged for you to giving us your valuable time.
My pleasure.
Sir, in today's shows, I'm going to put forth a lot of questions which our writers have posted. They want to ask you. But before that, I want to ask a personal thing that you have played myriad roles in your life. You have been a writer, you have been a mentor, you have been an advisor, you were there in the administrative services as well. So, any specific role which you really cherish the most or which has really changed you also as a person?
It's a very good question. And if I look at it, I think the role as a human being is the most important because when you are the first thing you are is a human being. As they say, "Pehle hum insaan hai." Whatever
Yes,
role you take on or don any hat or anything else, that is afterwards. So I think as a human being who tries to spread cheerfulness, that role is most important. And now, since I'm a motivational speaker, motivational writer, so I think it's something that gels well with that. So I really prefer and I try to give precedence to that role of spreading calmness, cheerfulness, positivity, and not negativity. And I focus especially with young people on creativity and creative skills. So I think that's what really matters, and that's the role I love the most.
that's right, sir. And it is the need of the art, the positivity, and all these things. We need that right now.
Absolutely.
And so, was it easy for you to leave the civil services like this? You've been there,
No, it
you
wasn't.
have been a role.
Not at all. It wasn't easy. I was thinking about it for 3 to 4 years. My wife and family, Nina, we were all discussing it, and it took me a while to convince them. Though I was quite convinced because I knew that I'm becoming a creative person, and when you're in the government, you cannot be that creative. So I
Exactly.
think I became a little more creative, like a speaker, a writer, motivator. When I used to go and speak as an IAS officer, people used to come to me and say that we were inspired by your speech, whatever. So I used to think that, okay, I need to do more of this. So when I became a motivational speaker, I travel now. Before the pandemic, I traveled a lot for 3 years after my VRS in 2017, and I really, really enjoyed it. And even now, I connected with a lot of youth. I have 4 million views on YouTube now. I have a large number of young followers, not so young followers. So I think this role is very important. And I resigned because I realized somebody has to go and speak like this, spread that cheerfulness, creativity, calmness. So that's what I do, and that's what I love to do.
That's right, sir. And we always look forward towards your videos. We want to see more of your videos and all those talks also.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, I'll start with the question answers. There are a lot of questions which our writers have posted for you. So, first question is from Amreen Sathar. She is asking that how did you manage to keep yourself persistently motivated through your career? And what was your source of inspiration?
Yes, somehow I think I've been blessed by always being a cheerful and positive person. But I think it has to do with a lot to do with my family, my parents, my wife, my daughters. I think they're all very positive, cheerful people. So the company matters. So I stay
Right.
motivated because the environment, the people around me are always motivated. I'm also like that. So we motivate each other. Friends also, I have friends who are very, joyful, cheerful, humorous kinds of people. Also, I think I play a lot of emphasis on family time, and I pay a lot of emphasis on reading and sports. I think these are activities which keep you motivated. And I watch sports, I read books, I listen to music a lot. We also sometimes sing a bit. So it's very good to be into the creative world. Then you stay motivated, and when you get up in the morning, whatever else happened last night or whatever
Right.
happened the previous day should not be troubling you anymore. So you
Yeah.
start the day with a positive intent. That's how I
Positive
stay
note.
motivated. Yeah, that's how I stay motivated.
And cricket, I think, has been a very integral part of your routine as well. You have been
Yeah.
very active in that sport.
Yeah, so I became a cricketer in my school days, and I was under 19. I played for Sikanaidu twice. That is a Sikanaidu trophy. And I was representing All India Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, that is KVS, twice. And then
Right.
in fact, when I got admission in engineering, I got sports seat because I was cricketer at the national level. And then I organize a tournament in my father's memory every year, which is the JP Atray tournament. For the last 26 times we have done it. It's an
Okay.
annual tournament.
Yeah.
So I've been involved with cricket and sports a lot. Even now, I'm a co-founder of Playwright. So we basically organize sports events, and I'm also part of a lot of sports-related initiatives. Yeah.
Right. That's really nice, sir. Okay, moving on to the next question, sir. This is from Sonal Sharma. And she's asking that in these changing times of virtual learning and online classes, there is a sense of insecurity which is developing in kids as to what their future would be. So, how to handle that pressure and stress?
There's a word which I read in the writings of Paramahansa Yogananda, who's the author of Autobiography of a Yogi, and that word is aboveness. So when
Right,
we are in the middle of something, let's say you are in the middle of a ready market or a crowded market, and you obviously have a lot of people around you. Supposing pandemic is not there, as they say, khacha khach bhara hua hai. You are in the midst of that. You can't think of anything else. You can't at that time imagine yourself sitting on a beach or on top of a mountain alone, because there are so many people around you. Similarly, when we are in the middle of something like the pandemic, we can't imagine ourselves pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. So
yes,
when we
that's
see
right.
this life of online life and always online and always digital, not meeting people, like it became better in the middle, and again there is a scare, but I don't think all scares are valid. So the thing is that we have to be careful, we have to be prudent, we have to remember that these tough times will not last forever, and that is why how we must adapt to different times. But I'm sure that we will be able to go out of this pandemic and become absolutely free from these problems later.
Exactly, sir. That's true. And next question is by Ritu Deepak. She is asking that how can we explain our kids that it's okay to win some and lose some in this age of super competition?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You see, sports teaches us this. Sometimes you lose a match or a game of badminton or cricket or tennis or whatever you play, and sometimes you win. Those who play
Yes.
sports realize that losses and wins are part of the game. And there is a poem by Kipling, Rudyard Kipling, as you know. And he talks about the imposters of failure and success. He says both are imposters. That means that we cannot always be successful. We will fail at times, we will lose at
Right.
times, we will be in trouble at times. And therefore, we really need to take hope in the fact that life will give us ups and downs. But let me tell you, most people's lives have most highs and very few lows. When we see the lows, then we feel very, we become crybabies. But when we see the
Right.
highs, then we don't remember that we have to be thankful for those times. So if we are thankful for good times, then we'll be fine.
So basically, it's a gratitude. We should be have that feeling of gratitude for, whatever is coming in our life. We should be thankful for that.
Absolutely. Especially when you are cheerful, happy, you should remember that tough times do come. So we don't become arrogant. There is a saying that when you're climbing up the ladder of life, be kind to people, because you'll meet the
Right.
same people on the way down. So there is an up and
Yes,
down in
that's
life. So you have to be kind to people, have gratitude, as you said, and then your life in other times will also be better.
exactly. That's true, sir. Next is a very interesting question by Swati Garg. She's asking that how do you define success? Does happiness lies in earning assets or pursuing truth is the ultimate path?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. Again, my book, as you said earlier, is called Finding Success Within. So
Yes,
success
I
is
have
not to
it.
be compared with money, power. Oh, you have the book. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That's so
I
kind.
have it.
Yeah, it's so nice of you. So, it is not to be compared with money, power, and fame. Material success is not success, because these are temporary. The
Right.
happiness we get from eating a golgappa or a pani puri or even a mango or a chocolate or whatever you love is also temporary. And beyond the point, you can't go on eating 30 of them, of anything. So the point is that material things give us limited success and happiness. What we need to do is to find that happiness and success within. And success
Exactly.
without true happiness is not a success. It's not success. So I often give the example of Donald Trump, the most powerful man he was in the world, never looked happy. So success without true happiness, is not success, and it will not last. But a poor person who is at peace within, has inner peace, inner calmness, inner happiness, will be well off. That is the way to be.
That's true, sir. And moving on to the next question, that's by Vasudha Pansare. She's saying that the concentration level of college students are declining these days. Their attention span in the classroom is not more than 30 minutes. So, how can a teacher rectify that?
I think that's also a very good point, because these days we are all distracted. We are looking here and there, and Instagram and this and that. So all the time we're trying to do new things. It doesn't work that way. It's like we have to be serious about what we do. We have to be serious about our work. We have to be serious about whatever we are into. We have to be serious about our intent. We have to be focused and concentrated. So I think it's very important for us to understand that being concentrated and serious and focused is very important. If we are distracted, if we are not able to concentrate, then we need to practice improving our concentration. So maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for
Let's
10
ask the
minutes,
master
you
section. Is
challenge yourself. You challenge yourself that I'm going to focus for the next 10 minutes, and I'm only going to read this book for 10 minutes, or I'm only going to write this whatever report, or I'm only going to play this sport without looking at my phone, without talking to anyone in the middle, without being so 5 minutes to 10 minutes. If you start, then your concentration improves, your distractions reduce, your focus improves, and I think gradually you develop that art of staying in the present moment, mindfulness. And when
Yeah.
mindfulness comes, that means you're present, like I am talking to you right now. So I should be focused here in this moment. And my focus cannot be, or anybody who is in this conversation cannot be thinking which parathas they're going to eat in the morning tomorrow. So it doesn't work
Yeah.
like that. There is a separate time for that. So we'll do that later.
That's absolutely true, sir. And it is very difficult these days to, keep the children away from all these things and making them, concentrate on one particular aspect or thing that they are into right now. And I
Right.
have seen, sir, that many children these days, they are more inclined towards studying abroad, especially after plus two. So is it like the atmosphere is such that they are into it's because of the peer pressure, or is it because of the lack of opportunities here in India, or what is it? What can be the reason behind it?
I think it is also to do with culture. Some states like Punjab, as you know, and Delhi, and maybe even Gujarat, Kerala, Bengal, these are states which typically people like to travel from there, go abroad for studies and other things. And the opportunities in India are vast, but the competition is also vast. So many
Yeah.
people might give up and say, no, no, I'll go to Canada or US or something. The thing is, you can make a mark here also. And making a mark here is not that difficult. If you are focused, if you are hardworking, if you are really intent, and you are, everybody is reasonably intelligent. Plus, I think the quality of life for an Indian is better in India. You won't believe it, but that is true. You see,
Yeah.
if you have enough comforts at home, you have reasonable comforts at home. You don't have to be rich. You have a car, maybe, or a vehicle that moves, and you live in a city where you can earn a decent living, and you're able to study, and your family can, eat and live well. That is all you need. Plus, I think India has a lot of brotherhood, community, family, and friends. Where, as in the US or Canada, I've been there and I've seen people living there, I've heard of them. They are many times alone, and that
Right.
aloneness is something which gives them a lot of problems. And I think being lonely is a major factor for people to be depressed over there. So I feel that India gives you good advantage in many ways, and if you're Indian, at the most you go and study, but you come back, and that brain
Right.
drain which is taking place is a serious matter. So I think people should maximize their potential here and only go abroad if they need to, and then also they come back. That's my view.
Right. Exactly, sir. And all the children, they also want to be an all-rounder these days. They want to participate in everything. They want to, achieve everything. So, what are the basically the ingredients of being an all-rounder?
I think I've talked about this, and I have, as you know, a TEDx talk on this, and I have a lot of videos on this on my YouTube channel, which is also my name, Vivek Atray, and Instagram also. I posted a lot of posts. I think it is very important for us to adopt an all-round life. One of the things that we should add to our repertoire, whatever we do otherwise, is reading. And you are, of course, focusing on reading and writing as one of your activities in Storyscapers, and it's very good. And I think reading is something that makes us an all-rounder. Number two, sports and fitness makes us an all-rounder, because we are physically fit, and we are, our body, mind, and soul. All three have to be in good shape. The soul is pure, but the body and mind, they are affected by the world. So if I talk at a spiritual level, I have to be physically fit, mentally fit, as well as I need to meditate and become spiritually fit. So then the fourth thing is I need to be creative. So I can be an entrepreneur, or I can be creative in my work. That means I'm an all-rounder in many ways. I can also be maybe taking up guitar, or something like poetry writing, or art or fine art or something, or even theater. So whenever we do such things, even karaoke singing, I mean, people are getting into some creative activities. They become all rounders. So if you are a CA or a chemistry professor, and you are only doing talking about chemistry and accounts, your life is dull and routinized. So you need to have that music, art, or cooking, or something in your life, and you become an all-rounder. You do better in your vocation also. So that's the
Right.
whole thing. Yeah.
And what about the time management, sir? It's very difficult to learn that, to understand that, how to manage the time, how to get into all these things and still, give time to yourself as well. So, what about
I
the
think
time management?
it's a great point, time management, because I think we really need to prioritize. I'm really, really impressed with myself, I must say, very non humbly, how I'm able to do so many things. People ask me.
Yeah,
So I tell them that you have to be ruthless with yourself at times. There you're sitting and lazing away, and you know that you could have been reading a book, or you could have been writing your next report or article or something, or you could have been learning a new art or skill, and you are sitting and lazing away. How much can you watch TV? I mean,
exactly.
even if you love one show or something, you watch it regularly. You can't go on watching Netflix all day, all night. And you take out time for your self development. Then meditation and other things, they also help. So I think it's very important for us to get going as an all rounder, and try and not get bogged down by that one thing. And then we'll do better.
That's right, sir. That's a wonderful tip. And I'll just put forth the next question. This is by Rekha Mordani. She's asking the same question again. It's like, what are the ingredients of a happy and peaceful life?
Yeah, it's slightly different from last time. So I think being an all-rounder is one. Let's talk about that. Then there's something called emotional intelligence. So emotional
Yes.
intelligence, as Daniel Goleman will describe, is basically, I say that it's the ability to handle people and situations in a calm and balanced manner. So he will tell you seven types of factors of emotional intelligence: self-analysis, analyzing others, awareness, being aware of what to say, when to say it. So basically, we need to understand our emotions. We need to understand that we should not say certain things in front of others. We need to understand that anger management is important. So these are the ingredients of being happy in life. Because if I'm losing my temper, if I'm getting worried, if I'm getting fearful, scared, then my life is not going to be happy come what may. And there are people who are also cribbing, complaining, despite having everything that they want. So I think it's going to be very difficult for them to be happy in any situation. You can be the richest man in the world, as I said earlier. The most powerful man in the world was not the most happy person in the world.
Most.
I think it's very
Exactly.
important for us to understand and appreciate and distinguish between what is true happiness.
That's true, sir. Exactly. And that comes with time, with experiences, and by changing ourselves.
And some people realize it early in life, some people realize it later in life, and some people never realize it. So
Never
we
realize
have
it.
to be the ones who realize it earlier than others.
Yeah, exactly, sir. That's true. Next question is by Swati Tamhankar. She is asking that how can we motivate today's generation to join the armed forces?
That's a very good point. I'm really very proud of our armed forces. I know a lot of army officers. I've even had the good fortune of being in the company of General VP Malik, former army chief, many generals,
Yeah.
colonels in my official as well as personal capacity. I'm very, I admire them a lot. I think we must motivate a lot of our youngsters to get into the um, armed forces. And I think that it's very important for us to inspire them by good promotional activities. The Army and the Air Force and the Navy have been doing some promotion on Instagram. I follow them, and I think a lot of youngsters are impressed by that, and they will try for the armed forces. Plus, I think we need to understand that the armed forces are full of excitement and courage and bravery is needed, discipline is needed, physical fitness, mental fitness is needed. So I also go and speak to army officers at times for motivation. I've been to Meerut and spoken to 100 or 150 JCOs who were slightly depressed. I address them as a motivational speaker. So I think that youngsters who can be motivated, they should be told that the army is serving the nation. You are covered in glory, whether you are at the border or wherever you are. You wear a beautiful uniform. You have good facilities. You have good career. And if you study hard and you are physically fit, mentally fit, you will be selected. So I think being an army officer or an officer of the Air Force or Navy or any other paramilitary force also is a great honor. So you must tell the youngsters that.
Yes, that's true, sir. And going back to the same question, sir, where I was asking about the ingredients of happy life, there's one viewer, Sarita Shukla. She wants to ask you to share something more on anger management.
Anger management is a very important aspect of life, and anger is something which is not our friend; it's our enemy. And if you see doctors, I have a lot of doctor friends, so you ask them, they will tell you that when we are angry, the cells of our body are agitated, and long-term health effects also take place. Let me tell you that we are talking these days a lot about immunity because of the pandemic. Those people who are angry or scared or restless or shouting all the time or nervous complainers, their immunity is lower. So
Yes,
physical immunity is impacted by anger and other behavior conducts. So I think anger management can be practiced by making determined efforts offline. So when you are in a situation, then there you can't tell yourself, you can't put a reminder on the wall, anger, manage your anger. When you are angry, you will not listen to that reminder. So you need to
yes,
work on it offline. That means in the morning, evening, when you're alone, calm, meditating, tell yourself that today, even if this happens, and sometimes our anger is because of routine stuff. The guy who got the cup of tea did not, whatever, he spilled some tea or he didn't get the proper cup or whatever. You lose your temper on such things. There's no point doing that. So you must really understand that anger is your enemy, and minimize the reasons for your anger and analyze your anger, and then you'll do better. So I used to sometimes lose my cool, but I used to go back to normal very soon. Now I hopefully don't lose my cool very, very rarely.
That's right, sir. And I think somewhere having a hobby or something like that, a sport, maybe involved in a sport or writing or something, that also helps us to control our anger, to portray the positive emotions also.
I agree. I agree. The more you occupy your mind with creativity, the juices which are released, the hormones which are released, and there are four happy hormones: endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. And all these hormones are the result of physical activity, sports, reading books, laughter, company, music. Nothing ever improved in our body and mind by losing your temper. And people will also stop liking you, and they'll only be scared of you. So there's no point.
That's right, sir. And so I've been a teacher for so many years, and I personally feel that life skills are very important in our school curriculum. So, would you like to share something about that as well?
Absolutely. Life skills are, in fact, my book, Finding Success Within, has 52 life skills.
Yes,
And it's very important, firstly, to be aware of yourself and understand that this is my weakness. I am a worrier, or I am a restless person. So, my life skill number one is to analyze myself and improve myself as far as possible. And that can happen easier in a younger age than when you grow up older. Although you can change yourself at any time, really. Secondly, your communication skills, your calmness, your cheerfulness, your creativity, all these C's which I often talk about, your composure, your character, your the way you present yourself, the way you respond to others, the way you are effectively putting across your point, confidence, personality, all these skills are a part of a person's repertoire. And if the complete set of skills is available, a person is close to perfection. But close to perfection is all you can be. Nobody's perfect. You will always have some drawback. Every human being has a drawback. We don't aim to be perfect. We aim to eliminate our negativities one by one. That's how it is.
that's true, sir. Sir, how important is language in our lives? And control and hold on all the languages. How important is that for us?
So, one doesn't have to be Shashi Tharoor, or one doesn't have to be any great orator or great, writer. Everybody cannot be. You can be a confident speaker without having much control or much vocabulary also. There are people you must have seen even in the market. Even a vegetable seller may be a great communicator at times.
Yes.
And we've seen singers who are from the roadside, and they are on WhatsApp. You've seen these poor people in the villages singing beautifully. So language is an asset, but it's not necessary that you should know, have a large vocabulary. Now, I am a writer. I write for the Hindustan Times. I write a column. My vocabulary has to be slightly better than the person who doesn't write in any paper. So, but if you're not a writer, if you're not a teacher, if you're not a speaker, but you can still be a good communicator with language, which is the French call it passable, which means basically it's adequate, it's average, it's normal. So you can be a good enough communicator even that way. But my one feeling is that if we use a language, we must use it correctly. So even if I know 10 words in a language, I must use them correctly. Even in I've got a video where Kripaya is spelled wrongly all over India. And Kripaya has a full per. And they all write half per.
Half.
And if it's our own language. So at least we should know our own language. Then there's no point in learning words like chivalry and all in English if you don't even know Kripaya in Hindi. So that's how it is.
That's true, sir. So, any tip that you will like to give to our writers?
Yeah, writers have to keep writing regularly and read a lot, because I read a lot of books. And even now, when I feel maybe dryness at times, that I don't feel like writing, then I read something, then I feel energized to write. Of course, every 2 weeks I have to write my column. I also write books. and so it's a discipline thing. I met Ruskin Bond once, so let me inspire your viewers. I met Ruskin Bond in Missouri, and with my family, Nina, and the girls were also there. And we met him, and he was grumpy. He was not grumpy; he was cheerful. He says, "I wrote a little bit in the morning; otherwise, I would have been grumpy all day long." So he says, every day I must write something in order to be, myself and happy. So a writer has to write. There's no point being a writer if you don't write for 1 year. So get down to writing.
That's wonderful, sir. That's really wonderful. And coming to the last question of the day, sir, Priya Vashikar from our viewers is asking that do you believe in the fact that everyone's life has a turning point?
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful question. Everyone's life has many turning points, and many turning points come and go. It's like you go to Shimla or you go to Missouri. There are so many turns on the way,
Turns.
and there is a saying that you think it's the end of the road, but it's only a bend. It's not the end; it's a bend, and the bend is
Yes.
leading to another road. So you don't you these turning points are part of life. Some may be major, like I resigned from the IAS, and of course when you got married, that was a turning point, and whoever got married. The point is that these turning points have come, major as well as minor. So you have to be going with the flow, and there is a saying that change is the only constant, and also another saying is that change comes from within. So external influences should not really be affecting our happiness, but that's a perfection kind of thing. So one last tip I'll give you before we wind up is that those who meditate and those who sit calmly and do nothing for a while, leave their phone aside, just contemplate or meditate, it is something that will improve your life. So all of you want to be good writers, good at anything, good fighters, whatever you are, you please meditate and you'll be better.
Well, thank you so much, sir. You have given us wonderful tips, and it was such an insightful session in which we are taking along with us so much of knowledge and so many tips and so many insightful ideas from you.
Thank
So
you.
we
In
would
fact, I
like to
can
have
see
one
from,
more and anytime, one more
yeah,
session
yeah.
with you.
We will have one more session. I can see some other questions on the question box. They can send me the questions through you, and I will answer them on text or maybe a voice message or something. I see some compliments also, so thank you very much for those.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to be interacting with people, and it's always nice to be sharing creative thoughts and positive thoughts. There are so many negative forces in the world. We must not listen to them much and try and be more positive and cheerful. And all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to our viewers for joining us.
Bye bye.